It's been more than a year since the Gray Fire destroyed hundreds of homes in the Medical Lake area, and it's still burning underground to this day. Why fire crews haven't been able to put it out.
I'm tracking a major cool down coming up very quickly in your first alert forecast. I'm breaking down the timing coming up.
And theft is on the rise in Liberty Lake. What neighbors can do now to protect their belongings. You're watching 4 News Now, Nightside. Thanks so much for staying up with us tonight. I'm Derek Dice. While some campaigns use political signs as a way to promote a candidate, one Spokane campaign used graffiti to promote their position. Crews with the city of Spokane spent part of their morning cleaning up graffiti like what you're about to look at right here from the newly renovated Post Street Bridge. The writings promoted the website StopTheViolenceSpokane.com. The website is paid for by Jim Wilson, a Republican who's running for state senate in the 3rd District against Marcus Riccelli. The website encourages people to vote against Democrats Riccelli, Natasha Hill, and Bob Ferguson. This graffiti was also found on 29th Avenue near the Manitou Shopping Center. While Wilson said he didn't do the graffiti himself, he knew members of his campaign were doing it.
We don't have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to spend to get the word out. So anyway, the youth came up with this idea to spread the word.
According to the Washington State Public Disclosure Commission, Wilson's campaign has raised over $35,000. Riccelli, his opponent, said the graffiti was an irresponsible approach and a waste of taxpayers' resources since city crews had to come clean it up.
I've heard loudly and clearly from business owners and people downtown they want to end graffiti vandalism. So I just think it shows two different visions for Spokane. I have a positive shared vision for moving Spokane forward, and my opponent seems to be wanting to encourage irresponsible political stunts.
The city said the graffiti appeared to be water-soluble spray paint, and it came off with soap and water, meaning it does not appear that anyone violated city code. A rash of recent thefts have fueled neighborhood discussion in Liberty Lake, so the police department posted a memo on what neighbors can do now to ease their minds and protect their belongings. Liberty Lake police say criminals don't look at age to decide who they steal from, so that tricycle you left outside could be a score just waiting to happen. They also say you shouldn't leave anything behind in your car, not even your garage door opener. Another recommendation is one that Lynn and John Tullochson have recently taken up.
Turning on the lights. Now, our son had told us that, too, that the more lights you have on, the better it is. So front and back porch lights we have turned on every night.
Liberty Lake police say petty crime is not on the rise in the city, but with recent community conversations, they want to remind you to take action now. With the weather starting to cool later this week, the city of Spokane announced its warming shelter plan that will be in place this winter. This year, instead of opening new shelters, the city will expand existing shelters and partner with existing programs like Catholic Charities. The main goal of this new approach is to save money and make sure everyone still has a place to go when the temperatures drop. And the plan will be for more than just the winter. It'll also be applied during the summer for extreme heat and when wildfire smoke fills the air. The Spokane City Council has delayed a vote that would expand the city's sit-and-lie ordinance beyond the downtown core. The current ordinance bans sitting or sleeping on sidewalks, building entryways, parking lots, and loading docks between 6 a.m. and midnight. The council agreed to delay the vote until after the city finishes its series of roundtables regarding homelessness. The last one is set to take place in December. And landlords in Spokane can no longer raise rent prices or evict tenants if they don't have a business license or haven't registered their rental units. The city council voted 5-2 to approve that new ordinance. The city originally passed its registry requirement in February of 2023, and it went into effect in January. The city says this would be another incentive for landlords to make sure they're registered. The ordinance would also streamline the process of registering your unit. It would also add a waiver for that $15 fee per rental unit for low-income tenants. All right, let's send things over to Allison Martinez for a check of the weather, and we see it right there. Temperatures are going to drop later this week.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't get any more clear than this drop off right here. The biggest thing we're tracking is the major cool down that we have coming into our forecast for midweek. So 4 things to know about your weather for the week ahead. We have another warm and sunny day tomorrow. We have highs in the 70s and some sunshine, though we do have a cool down in our forecast coming on Wednesday. Wednesday is also where we could see the potential for some rain, and then we'll have temperatures in the 50s this week. So very different from what we had this past weekend. We're tracking our overnight lows, and we have temperatures in the 40s. So Spokane, 47 degrees, 48 in Coeur d'Alene, 49 degrees in Kellogg, 43 for an overnight low in Pullman, 44 in Ritzville, and 50 degrees over in Grand Coulee. As you plan out your day for tomorrow, you can see we're starting here in the 40s, as we said, a little bit cooler. So you want a little bit of a layer to send those kids with as they head out the door. But we are heating up to 70 degrees for our high. We'll be in the 60s for the majority of the day and 70 in the afternoon. As we look to the future, this is our 4-day forecast. You can see the swinging temperatures that we have here. So 70 for Tuesday, cooling down to 60 degrees for Wednesday, along with that rain potential, and then 54 degrees for Thursday. And I want you to take a look at these overnight lows. 37 degrees on Thursday morning is going to feel especially cool after the temperatures we've had the last couple of days, but things will cool down even more. We have some morning temperatures at or below freezing. We'll tell you more about that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Allison, thank you. An underground fire in Medical Lake has been burning since August of last year. The fire is at the site of an old buried landfill near Eastern State Hospital. The fire ignited during the Gray Fire last year, but because the fire is underground and it's unclear what's in the landfill, fire crews have been unable to put it out.
A lot of pockets where air can come in and ignite the fire. There can be biological activity. An increase in biological activity increases your temperatures in the landfill. So there are lots of factors, and they're just very, very difficult fires to put out.
The Department of Ecology, in collaboration with the Department of Social Health Services, which owns the property where the fire is, has come up with a plan to put it out and clean up any contamination it has caused. Right now, they are waiting to receive any feedback from the public. If after 30 days there are no changes to the plan, the Department of Ecology will move forward with putting out that fire. A brush fire forced a lane closure on westbound I-90 today. Here's video the Department of Transportation posted on social media this afternoon. The fire was burning near Highway 2 and closed that interchange for a few hours. It has since reopened. No word yet on what caused the fire. A small Spokane business is speaking out about their property being continually vandalized. Absolute Drug Testing in the West Central neighborhood says homeless people are dumping trash and drug paraphernalia outside of its office several times a week. ADT's operations manager says it's filed police reports and reached out to the city council, but the problem is only getting worse.
I think if the city would reach out to the smaller areas of the smaller businesses that are trying to contribute to the community would be helpful. Right now, it's just kind of like falling on deaf ears.
Operations manager Missy Brum says she talked with the ADT's owners about moving the business. She feels like filing police reports isn't making a difference, but she hopes ADT will get the help it needs before they're forced to move. Overdose deaths in the U.S. are the lowest they've been in 3 years, according to recent federal data. And the steep drop in deaths from fentanyl is a key factor driving this overall decline. Dr. Ashish Panchal with Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center is the senior author of a new study looking into how many everyday people have administered overdose reversing medication. Dr. Panchal says during a 2-year period between 2020 and 2022, the rate of people administering naloxone to someone experiencing an opioid overdose before EMS arrival increased by more than 43%.
A lot of the work that we're already doing when it comes to public awareness and access to reversal agents is working.
The Food and Drug Administration approved the first over-the-counter opioid antidote last year against a backdrop of record-high opioid deaths. The approval allowed the medicine to be sold without any sort of prescription in retail stores and online. Health experts say that while naloxone can quickly restore normal breathing to a person whose breathing has slowed or stopped because of an opioid overdose, it will not have an effect on someone who does not have opioids in their system. So experts say it's okay to give the medicine whenever an overdose is suspected. Well, still to come here on Nightside, a Seattle crime ring allegedly run by a group of teenagers. The nearly 80 crimes they've been connected to, including robberies, carjackings, and even shootings. Plus, a scary and shocking scene caught on camera near Seattle. A well-known radio DJ barely escapes a random fiery explosion after the break.
We have another warm and dry day tomorrow, but then we have the potential for rain coming midweek. I'm breaking down the timing on these potential showers coming up.
Download the KXLY Plus app on your connected TV.
4 News Now is brought to you by Consign Furniture.
Across our state, we have roads and bridges in desperate need of repair. But Initiative 2117 would make things even worse, slashing funding for infrastructure, putting all of us at risk. 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
Conjure up a frightfully good ride this October in the Truck or Treat giveaway. Win big October 24th with a new Ford F-250 Lariat. Experience the captivating resort expansion and elevate your game at Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino.
Many great careers don't need a 4-year degree. They start out here. Bob Ferguson has a detailed plan to expand apprenticeships and on-the-job training like I had to give more Washingtonians the skills they need to succeed. And Bob will eliminate 4-year degree requirements for most state jobs, opening doors to more good-paying careers. I would support Bob Ferguson, even if he wasn't my kid brother, but it helps he listens to old machinists like me.
Bob Ferguson for governor.
I'm a real wild one. Once in a while, we all want to go wild. We just need a little help. Meet a little help. The 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Wild Edition goes over any terrain, so you can go all out. Get a wild deal on a Bronco Sport today. Get a 24 Bronco Sport Wild Edition, starting as low as $28,645, or lease for just $369 a month for 36 months.
Are you ready to rock back and forth? Does God ever call you and ask you for stuff?
I heart you. Can we get rid of that?
Jimmy Kimmel Live, new weeknights on ABC.
For us, protecting the land means everything. It's our homestead and legacy. But Initiative 2117 puts our air and water at risk, and cuts to transportation funding will make it harder to move products. 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
4 News Now is brought to you by Washington Trust Bank Shred Day.
Well, the dog park that was supposed to open in Highbridge Park has been slightly delayed. We've been told it will be only a minor delay because of the coordination of fencing, paving, and concrete work. A soft opening is still scheduled for later on this month. We will continue to follow this story and update you on our website at KXLY.com.
I officially have the title of largest pumpkin ever grown in Colorado.
Take a look at this giant pumpkin grown by a firefighter in Colorado. The gourd broke records when it weighed in at 2,083 pounds. And if you can believe it, across the globe, an even bigger pumpkin was grown in Europe. This pumpkin, grown by a man in Belgium, tipped the scales at a massive 2,500 pounds.
Wow.
Allison, I read online this is like a big European, competition. So, and this guy from Belgium actually won it also in 2019. So he's got the title twice now in the last 5 years.
I wonder what his secret is. How does he do it?
I don't know.
Pretty impressive.
It's crazy. All right, we had another warm day today.
Yes,
we get
do.
one more tomorrow, right? And then we take a little bit of a plunge.
Yes, then we'll have the fall-like conditions that I know so many of you are eager for. Perfect pumpkin patch weather, corn maze weather. It's coming soon, I promise. But before we get there, we have one more warmer than normal day. For tonight, we have an overnight low of 47 degrees. It's going to be a mostly clear night, and we have light winds. Tomorrow, 70 degrees. Yet again, temperatures in the 70s all around the majority of the inland Northwest. We have mostly sunny skies and light winds. Now, here is a closer look at our highs. So 74 degrees in Kellogg, 76 degrees in St. Mary's, 73 in Pullman. Ritzville, you'll be at 72 tomorrow, 71 in Moses Lake, and 74 degrees in Grand Coulee. So we have that heat, we have some sunshine, but things are going to take a big turn around Wednesday. As you can see here, that's where we have the most potential for some rain. We're looking at about an 80% chance of measurable rain, and then this switches down just a tad to 60% for Thursday, and then things dwindle a little bit for the weekend. 20% chance of rain for Friday and 40% for Saturday. Now, between Tuesday and Thursday, we're looking at more than 1/10 of an inch, so wetting rains for sure. The best way to track the rain is by downloading our First Alert Weather app. Here is how this is going to enter our region. So we're starting off by taking a look here tomorrow around 4 p.m. Most of this moisture will be focused more towards the central part of the state into Winthrop, Omak, Wenatchee. But as we approach nighttime, here's 10 p.m. You can see this is making its way to us, into Colville, even into Deer Park in the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene areas. Then around 8 o'clock, as you're maybe heading out the door for the day, you can see we're just left with some cloud coverage, but those sprinkles will return and be widespread in the afternoon. And this is really what it's going to look like for the next couple of days that will follow. Here's your planning forecast so you can get a better picture of the range of temperatures we have over the next couple of days. Starting off here tomorrow, 70 degrees, warmer than normal. Wednesday, that is the perfect picture of a normal fall-like day for this time of year. 60 degrees, that's our normal high. We even have the potential for some rain, some cloudier skies. But then Thursday, we are dipping down even more to a daytime high of 54 degrees. Still seeing the potential for rain showers there. And then for the weekend, we'll be in the 50s, even the low 50s, 53 for Friday with a 20% chance for rain. The big thing you'll want to keep an eye on here is those overnight lows. They're going to sneak up on you. You're going to head out the door, and it's going to feel a lot more brisk than it has been. 32 degrees for Friday morning, so that's going to be a chilly start to the day. The majority of our region will be at or below that freezing point. And as we look to the future, we're holding on to these cooler temperatures. This is October 22nd through the 28th, and you can see we're this area in the baby blue here, and we're trending cooler overall. So fall-like conditions will be here very shortly, and it looks like they're here to stay.
All right, Allison, thank you very much. It's going to be quite the change. Well, around the Northwest now, a scary and shocking scene caught on camera near Seattle. A well-known radio DJ and his family barely escaped a random fiery explosion while they were driving on a road in Burien Friday. King 5's Maddie White has the story.
DJ John Richards had just picked up his wife from the airport Friday when a ball of some kind fell onto the road.
And the soccer parent in me is that's a soccer ball. So I actually slow down a little because I'm like, a kid's going to run possibly behind this ball. And then within a second, I turned to my wife and I said, that's a bomb.
Richards and his wife and son were within feet of the explosion.
They saw it explode behind the car. All three of us were, it was like a movie where you're a little muffled, everything was a little muffled, and we came out absolutely in shock.
They were not injured by it, but still, it took a toll.
The headache, and we had ear ringing for a couple of days that just went away.
Richards says his car was slightly damaged by it.
Thank God I wasn't here a second too soon.
But the emotional impact is worse.
My kid, he was really, he was traumatized by it.
Now the question is, why would someone do this?
Maybe it's not funny, but it's watching Bugs Bunny, man. You see the little bombs they light, and they're like throwing them in the cartoon? I think that trained me more than any other thing.
Wow. So far, police have not announced any arrests in this case. However, the following day, 2 men were arrested after police said one of them attempted to light a bomb while fleeing from officers. No word yet on if those incidents are connected. The Boeing machinist strike in Seattle is entering its 2nd month. You're looking at strikers in Seattle holding signs in protest. Economic experts say the shift from production to protest is costing Boeing millions. Last week, the company shared it burned through $1.3 billion during the third quarter. Boeing's latest statement reiterated the company wants to reach an agreement, but believes the union is insisting on unreasonable demands. The president of International Association of Machinists in the Seattle region says union leadership is fighting for what its members want.
It's time to come to the table, stay at the table, do the hard work, and bargain the things so we can reach an agreement.
Well, not a single plane has been worked on at the production facility in Everett since the 33,000 workers walked off the job a month ago. Boeing announced Friday it would be laying off 10% of its workforce over the next several months. If you've ever flown into Seattle SeaTac Airport, you know it can be very crowded, but now Yakima's airport is working on a plan that might help the situation. The idea is to use Yakima as a hub for regional flights.
Instead of having to go to SeaTac, you can go to your community airport, get on electric or hybrid electric airplane and come here. So what we are doing is we are trying to outfit this airport with electric aircraft charging capability.
Research suggests SeaTac will reach its passenger capacity by 2032. Yakima Airport Director Robert Hodgman says there are no big plans right now to move flights to Yakima, just small steps that might lead to that plan.
Looks like they're all getting out of the car.
Police in Seattle just busted a crime ring allegedly run by a group of teenagers. Authorities say a month-long investigation connected the teens to nearly 80 crimes, including shootings, carjackings, and at least 24 robberies, hitting fast food joints and convenience stores. On Friday, Seattle Police Chief Sue Rahr announced the arrest of an 18-year-old, 2 16-year-olds, and a 15-year-old. One store clerk says he was held at gunpoint during one of those robberies.
He pulled the gun on my head, took all the cash from the registers. It was scary, man. I was thinking about everything, like I was about to lose my life.
Shivam Shivan says one of the victims held at gunpoint by the robbers. He says they also took his phone and wallet with about $300 inside. All of the suspects remain in custody. Officials say formal charges are expected soon. New AI shopping experiences are rolling out just ahead of Black Friday. What the AI assistants will be able to do. It's coming up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
From the ages of 13 to 15, I experienced childhood sexual abuse, and the abuse ended when I became pregnant. I made the choice to end my pregnancy. In Congress, Dave Reichert voted to ban abortion nationwide. He voted against exceptions. Reichert said as governor, he would work to unravel protection for abortion access here, and I think that is cruel. If Reichert becomes governor, I believe women are in danger. He's wrong for Washington.
So, boss man, what are we doing today?
Oh, just annual maintenance.
Annual maintenance?
Yeah, the yearly tune-up to keep the heating and cooling stuff running. Wait, you do get tune-ups on your HVAC equipment, right?
Any chance you can come by my house after this and check out my system?
Right now, get your annual maintenance for only $89 from Bill's Heating and AC. Call today.
Sometimes life is a funny way of turning sideways. Like when your kid decides they're a professional stylist the morning of picture day. Or when your to-do list isn't quite done.
You went to Rite Aid, right?
Or when you're sure you packed everything you need, but you actually need one more thing.
We forgot our prescriptions. We got you. Are we happy?
We are happy. Find everything you need?
Yep. Yeah, life never really goes the way you plan, but that's why we're here. It means more at Rite Aid.
How's your day going?
Going good. Thank you. Yes.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Well, several retail companies are rolling out new AI shopping experiences just ahead of Black Friday. Amazon's new chatbot called Rufus will try to predict what shoppers want to buy. And just a few days ago, Walmart launched a personalized AI assistant that knows who you are when you're on their website and can even create personalized shopping experiences. Experts say in this era of AI, a few companies with a huge amount of data will have a major advantage. If you're using the U.S. Postal Service to ship holiday gifts this year, here are some important dates you might want to keep on your radar. For delivery by Christmas Day in the United States, not including Hawaii and Alaska, USPS recommends that packages are sent no later than December 21st. That's for Priority Mail Express service, which is faster and usually costs more. Less expensive options like first-class mail and ground service need to go out a little earlier. First-class mail must go out by December 18th, and the cutoff for ground service is December 16th. Well, some bad news for coffee drinkers. Starbucks is cutting back on promotional offers through its mobile app to get customers to pay full price for its beverages. The move will also reduce the strain on employees who get flooded with work when promotions are advertised. In September, Starbucks offered extra loyalty points on Tuesdays and deals on certain drink purchases on Saturdays. That was a shift from deeper discounts spanning many months earlier this year, like half off and buy one, get one free. There won't be any broad holiday offerings this season as the company plans to promote seasonal drinks through advertising instead. Well, the Washington State Cougars have gotten through their toughest stretch of games, and now the Cougs will face a team that has only 2 wins on the season. Hear why Jake Dickert says the Cougs won't be taking this matchup lightly. Coming up next in sports.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Walker's Furniture.
I'm down to 7.
You're getting close to hometown.
Yeah.
This is your time, so take advantage.
I want a partner for life, and Joan checks all the boxes.
To find love and connection, there's nothing like it.
It's not fair. You didn't give anybody the chance to talk to her.
I'd be crushed if Joan has stronger feelings for another guy.
Mark, can I steal you for a second?
Absolutely.
Wow.
What happened here?
I don't know.
The Advocates are a team of dedicated
personal injury lawyers who
are prepared to go to trial.
So getting the maximum recovery amount
is the reason we never back down.
So when you're injured,
call the Advocates.
Wow. It's like we finish
each other's sentences.
I'm Carmela Conroy, and my story starts here. Grandpa was a union mason on the Grand Coulee Dam. Dad worked on the Great Northern Railway. We were raised to look out for our neighbors. That's why, as a Spokane County deputy prosecutor, I held violent offenders accountable. As a Foreign Service officer, I worked in conflict zones. We need leaders in Congress who will stand up for veterans and military families. I'm Carmela Conroy, and I approve this message.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. That's over $6,400 total value. Plus, no monthly payments until next year.
ShopDaveSmith.com.
Hi, I'm Ken, and I'm a lawyer.
I'm Donnie, and I'm not, but I am an advocate.
So am I.
I'm an advocate.
I'm an advocate.
I'm an advocate.
Seriously injured? You deserve justice. You deserve an advocate.
That's us.
All of us.
Washington State is starting the season with their best record since 2018, and a homecoming game against Hawaii this week should allow the Cougars to comfortably add to their win column. But playing back at home against the Rainbow Warriors is a lot less daunting than some of the other matchups they faced earlier in the year. But that doesn't mean it's time to pump the brakes. Coach Jake Dickert has stressed the same message since the start of the season. His team prepares for a nameless, faceless opponent, and that doesn't change going into this week.
It's one of those things where it's a maturity test. I mean, you can look at the record or you could look at the film, right? What do you want to do? And defensively, really every step of the way, they've been on it, right? They've been fast, they've been aggressive. They're a little bit undersized, but their team speed is above average, and I think they play physical.
Hawaii is coming off a loss to Boise State, and that's Washington State's only loss so far this season. Hawaii was able to keep their game against Ashton Genty and the Broncos to one possession until the fourth quarter, so Dickert expects a good challenge from the Rainbow Warrior defense against Washington State's run game. Kickoff for the homecoming game is Saturday at 12:30 in Pullman.
We got our butts knocked out in that game, and just like football, just like life, sometimes you get knocked on your butt, and you got to get back up, and you got to respond. And I'm anxious to see how our team does respond. I think we will respond well. Again, we have to get better. I think this just tells us where we're at. We're not as good as we want to be yet.
Well, head coach Jason Eck isn't going to sugarcoat the Vandals' loss against number 3 Montana State. While the defense has been consistent throughout the season, the offense has lacked any identity, and that's because the identity of their starting quarterback has changed 3 different times. Jack Lane and Nick Josepek are both out with collarbone injuries, so Jack Wagner will start this week. Good news is Coach Eck hasn't lost 2 games in a row since his first season with the Vandals, and he says his team is great at bouncing back. A game back at home could do the trick. The Vandals face the Cal Poly Mustangs on Saturday at 1 o'clock in the Kibbie Dome. Gonzaga found itself at number 6 in the first AP Top 25 preseason poll. It's not much of a shock. The Zags have been ranked in the preseason poll for 15 years in a row. The Kansas Jayhawks sit at number 1 for the second straight season, followed by Alabama at 2 and UConn at 3. There are a number of non-conference opponents that are in Gonzaga's future that are also a part of this initial top 25. The Bulldogs' first opponent this season will be the Baylor Bears. That's a team that sits in the top 10 with the Zags right now. Their non-conference slate also includes number 3 UConn, number 22 UCLA, and number 23 Kentucky. The Zags are also bound to see other ranked opponents at the Battle for Atlantis tournament in November. Teams like number 10 Arizona and number 17 Indiana are pretty likely candidates there. Well, this week's Game of the Week matchups are set. You get to choose which game is featured in our Friday Night Sports Extra highlight show, and voting is open now. It's the undefeated Bulldogs of Gonzaga Prep taking on the Central Valley Bears, 5-2 Coeur d'Alene taking on 5-2 Post Falls, and University High, who just got its first win of the season against the Ridgeline Falcons. Right now, G Prep and CV are in the lead. You could scan the QR code on your screen, or you can vote on our website right now, KXLY.com. Voting closes Thursday, and that'll wrap us up for sports.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
I had surgery as a child that I barely remember. But decades later, the insurance company called that a pre-existing condition and denied me long-term care insurance. Washington State created a long-term care benefit to help millions of people like me afford the care we need. But I-2124 will take that benefit away, leaving millions with no way to get or afford long-term care. If it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. That's why we all have to vote no on I-2124.
Take a journey through the magical stories of Frozen 2, Aladdin, and more at Disney on Ice presents Magic in the Stars. Playing this weekend at Spokane Arena. Great seats still available. For tickets and show details, visit DisneyOnIce.com today.
Bounce from one doctor to the next. Does it have to be like this?
At Kaiser Permanente, we have a different kind of health care.
So, how did you like that?
Where all of us work together for all that is you.
I'm Chad Young from the EasyHomebuyer.com, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene's easiest way to sell your house fast. If you have a few moments, I hope you'll give me the opportunity to make you an instant cash offer on your home. With the EasyHomebuyer.com, we will buy your house in as-is condition with no repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. To get your no-obligation cash offer, give us a call or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer. It's your thing.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Fred Meyer. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Fred Meyer, fresh for everyone.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
We have one last day of warm weather happening tomorrow with a high of 70 degrees. We'll have more clouds than we saw today, but some sunshine also. Then we cool down for Wednesday, and we also have the potential for some rain showers. We're holding on to those showers for Thursday and the majority of the weekend. 54 is our high for Thursday, and then we have temperatures in the 50s for the next couple of days. Our overnight lows, of course, are cooling down with it. 32 degrees for Friday morning. It's going to be a chilly start to the day there.
All right, Allison, thank you. Well, Diversion Events is hosting what it's calling a spooky soiree this Friday at the Pergola event venue. Dress up in your best costumes and enjoy an alcohol-free evening filled with music, dancing, and entertainment. Tickets are just $15. Links and details can be found by going to our website at KXLY.com. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. Don't forget you can tune in to Good Morning Northwest starting at 5.